So this morning we walked in at 8 o'clock into the office. I was followed James, turned on the camera. I was still half asleep. And we walked into the gym, stopped by Whitney, and we just kept on walking. And where did we end up going? Well, to our warehouse.
The whole purpose of training with bands is to give yourself that flexibility to train anywhere you want. So if I can get a real biceps, triceps workout, or any workout for that matter, in the middle of our warehouse, then you can do it anywhere.
No fake shit against me shall prosper. Yes, I came, I saw, I conquered. No fake shit against me shall prosper.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, so first thing we got going on here, this was for triceps. So with the angle here, this is, even though it looks like a kickback, but because I'm leaning forward, this is more like just a regular triceps push down. So if I were in the gym, this would be me just going to the cable machine and from the high pulley doing a triceps push down. You can see, I mean, even at this point already, even though I'm going for 20, it's already getting hard here. Anyone who says bands are easy, they're crazy. You know, bands can be as hard as you want to make them.
Right, and a lot of that, what I saw with today's workout is, you'll see it in a little bit, is you were also discovering some of the weights. You're saying, okay, well, this is a little too much. So it is a feel thing, you know what I mean? It seems like you had to feel it out. You had to see where you were at that point. You'll see kind of later on with the other exercises, but if you couldn't do it, you didn't try to, muscle it up. It was like, no, let me get the quality in there.
Yeah, so look, I would say that out of all the advantages that bands really have over free weights, probably the single biggest challenge outside of people not knowing what to do initially is picking the right resistance. It's pretty easy when you go into the gym, hey, all right, I'm going to go towards the 35s, or I'm going to pick up the 40s, and after a while, you know which weight you want to pick up. Say that black band that's hanging there, what's the resistance? What's the equivalent in free weights? Well, there is no equivalent because I can make that band as easy as I want, or I can make that band as hard as I want.
Right. Let's check it out.
So you saw the first set, that was 20 reps doing the triceps push down. So now we're going to what would be the equivalent of a standing bar curl. So anchored it down below.
Kind of like, I see it more of as an easy curl because of the way your hands are positioned. They're not flat down. You kind of have that easy curl grip going on,
Maybe a little. I mean, look, the advantage of an easy curl bar is it puts your hands in a more neutral position, which I like. It's easier on my wrists, easier on my elbows. So this is more of a neutral position. And whenever I can take a neutral grip on something, I prefer to it because it puts less stress on your joints.
Yep.
All right, so one of the things that we talked about here, in between supersets, I like to keep the intensity up. I'm either jump roping or doing jumping jacks, but in between all my sets, I keep my heart rate elevated because this isn't just about a weight training session. This is also trying to keep my heart rate up and burn fat as well. So
right.
This total workout that we did was only 45 minutes long. Got a crazy pump, great biceps workout, great triceps workout, and burn calories in the process in only 45 minutes.
And I've seen you do the same thing when you're lifting free weights as well. You'll always kind of add a little bonus jump rope in there or some kind of accelerator.
Yep, always. All right, so moving into same thing, move from the black bands to initially purple here for 10 reps on biceps, but you'll see that it was too heavy. I tried it. I said, no, didn't work. You can always tell the first rep or two, you know that if it's going to be too heavy for 10. And unlike free weights where you can get sloppy, you can start using momentum, you can't even do that with bands. So, which is one of the things I like about it. It promotes better form. So you're going to see people cheat less when they use bands. So it keeps you more honest.
And it keeps your ego at check because that's the one thing. Look, I can throw up, 60 pounds in a curl, just tossing it up with momentum.
Yep.
Try that with this.
Another option, which you'll see me do later on, is I could have just stuck to the black and just stepped further away, stretched that band more and created more resistance. So you'll see me do that later on with some of the exercises. So here, same thing. Burning some extra calories here. Set number 3 is just the same as set number 2, so 10 reps. So same thing here. You can tell, kind of taking a quick breather because I really felt that. So I feel like a real workout. It is a real workout. Is this our fourth set? Yeah, this is our fourth set. I can tell because I've gone back to the black band So this is where we've compared it to a sprint. If everything else was a jog, so all my contractions, a nice even tempo as far as the concentric, the squeeze, and the eccentric or the negative, just like I would with free weights. But now I'm able to do something that I can't do with free weights, and that's do more explosive movements. Because with free weights, like we've talked about before, if I do it fast, once I initiate that movement, get that weight in motion,
The momentum takes over. Yep.
Momentum takes over. So with bands, it never takes over. So I'm able to take advantage of a different rep speed here. And your fast twitch muscle fibers, those are those explosive muscle fibers, those type 2 fibers that make you run faster, jump higher, also are the muscles that get bigger.
Right.
So that's why you see a lot of guys that maybe when they were younger, maybe they were track and field guys, 100-meter guys, you see them in the gym and they just like, they can smell the weights and they get bigger. That's why.
Yeah,
guys like that have good fast twitch muscle fibers. So we're training those muscles a different way here with a different rep speed, and you're going to see that. And again, people aren't used to seeing this, so it looks goofy, right? That looks funny. If you saw someone doing that with free weights, you'd make fun of them. You know, you'd take a video and you'd post it on Instagram. But you come out and you do that with bands, let me tell you, it'll smoke the muscle. And it'll get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
So went ahead and did 15 reps explosively. You maintain good form, though. Just do them explosively. Big breath here, and going to do the same thing for biceps.
I think we're moving on to the second exercise now, which...
Second superset, yep.
Yep.
So talking right here, what I'm saying is that everything's about angles. So first we did the equivalent of a standing curl. This mimic obviously a standing curl, so we want to go ahead and we want to attack from different angles. So singles gives me a little more flexibility, so we'll incorporate some singles in as well. But right now, I want to go ahead for biceps. I want to mimic a preacher curl. So preacher curls, your arms are going to be out in front of you. So we want to mimic this motion. And then for triceps, we're going to go ahead and mimic an overhead extension. So we're going to start with right now. I could do this anywhere. I could find a tree, a light post, it wouldn't matter. That's one of the biggest things is finding anchor points, but you can find anchor points anywhere. I mean, I could, hook it to a fire hydrant. So this is a overhead triceps extension. And again, so you got 3 heads to the triceps. And so this is putting one of those in a stretched position when you raise your arm over your head. And when you stretch a muscle just slightly, you're putting a little more tension on it.
I know you've done a great video on triceps. If you check out the James Grage YouTube page from the Advanced Training Techniques, I know you've talked meticulously about that.
Every one of them, every body part, if you want to, more detail on things like that. There was even a video specifically on muscle length tension relationship,
right,
and how that helps you target different areas. You can see here, this is more that preacher curl position. And just using a red band, but I went ahead and stepped further back.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more you stretch that band, the more resistance you're going to take or create. So shake it out, and then I think right about now start jumping into
jumping jacks.
Some jumping jacks. So here we go. Moved over to... Did I use the black before?
Yeah, you used the black, but what you did is now you're just showing... If you want to
the
change it, yep, boom, slide it down a little bit.
So that's what I'm talking about here. You can see that where I'm grabbing the band, I'm actually shortening the length of it, so I'm making it harder. And again, that's a great thing about bands is I can take that black band and create all sorts of different resistance there.
I think this is our third set now, or second set?
This is second. So originally I went from the red band and stepped further back. And so now I moved up to a black band, but standing a little bit closer.
How do your biceps feel at this point?
These contractions are so strong that they hurt. Each rep hurts. I can feel that muscle contracting. It's almost like a Charlie horse, which I love that feeling. I feel like every rep is just so productive. Whereas a lot of times when I'm training, we always say, with even with our product, 1MR, what is 1MR? Well, it's one more rep. Well, what's the significance of one more rep? Well, to me, if you're doing 10 reps, the first 9, that's just a prelude to the one that counts, which is the last one. You do those just so you can get to that last one, the one that's painful, the one that's a struggle, right? That's the one where you're really challenging yourself, pushing yourself past, those limits. And when I use bands, I feel like I'm able to reach that point sooner. So I feel like I've got more reps that have that same kind of, that same feel where it's just, I feel like I'm fighting for every inch.
And that was what Muhammad Ali used to say. He said he used to do hundreds of sit-ups and he wouldn't even start counting until it started hurting.
Until it starts to hurt. And so I get more reps that hurt with bands than I do with free weights.
Jumping into the third set right here, you can see, still very conscious of where your hands are.
All right, so here, this is what I'm talking about here is actually pretty important. I like to get that little turn, so pinkies start to come up, whether it's a push down like this, same thing. So thumbs start to come together, and same thing on overhead extension. As they come up, I like to bring those pinkies out, thumbs together. That's one of the other things, and we talk about it later on here with this workout. Depending on how you grab the bands is really going to, influence how you feel that band pull against you. And you'll see later on that when we're doing some single arm bicep stuff, that really matters. And I'll point that out. Right here, because I just want a straight pull, it's easy for me to go ahead and just grab in the loops there because I'm not trying to angle my hands at all.
You can tell the intensity is going up. You're gassing out.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting to get tired at this point. This is a real workout, and that's the thing that I just have to emphasize is that bands aren't this entirely different type of workout. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Approach it the exact same way that you'd approach a regular workout. You're just using bands instead of free weights. It's like we talked about before. With bands, you're not just replacing your resistance. You eliminate the need for all the extra equipment like benches. Here we'd need a preacher bench or something to go ahead and brace our arm up against. Now going back to original resistance, and we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be our sprint. 15 explosive ones. That hurts already. You see, it looks silly. I mean, look, I'm not going to try to tell you this looks cool, but when you do it and you feel it, you'll appreciate it.
Dude, I wasn't even doing it, and I was filming it, and I was feeling it.
You know that lactic acid feel that when you do a set and you feel it on those last couple reps, you feel this immediately. The first couple feel pretty easy.
And it's funny, we were talking about, when somebody said, hey, you can't build muscles. It's like a gun. Guns don't kill people.
People kill people.
Bands don't kill muscle. People kill,
100%. So that was superset number 2. So now we're going to move into superset number 3. So everything was double. So now we're going to do some isolateral stuff, meaning singles. So we already mimicked with biceps a preacher curl, which is arms out in front of us. That focuses on the short head of the biceps. We want to go ahead now, put our arms behind us and stretch out that long head, put a little tension on it to focus on it and really work on that peak. So talking about right there, I'm going to anchor it right at elbow height. That's why I stood up against there.
And here's where you were really talking about the difference between putting your hand inside and then grabbing it like that.
So stepping away just to get that elbow behind my body. And then as I curl up, you see that rotation in my hand. So that pinky coming up and the thumb going outward. That's really important, and that's why I'm grabbing the band the way I am, and I'll explain it here in a second. What I'm saying is, if I were to grab it in the loop like that, I'm not getting any extra resistance when I turn that pinky up. If I rotate my thumb up versus rotating over, just this right here. You see that little extra contraction in the biceps?
right? Pinkies up, extra peak contraction. So that's what I'm chasing, is that peak contraction.
And that's what we're talking about here, is learning how to feel and learning how to chase that peak contraction. You want to go ahead and whatever exercise you're doing, you want to make sure that you always get, as much of a squeeze as you can. I always imagine that I'm actually flexing. Like if someone said, hey, flex your arm, you would flex it as hard as you could. You'd really ball that muscle up. Well, you want to do the same thing with each and every rep.
Don't cheat yourself.
Don't cheat yourself. Make every rep count. It's not a counting game. It's not, the goal isn't, hey, let me, get to 10.
4 times 15.
Yeah, this isn't math class, right? So go ahead and take the time. And so what? So what if you burn out at 5 reps? Okay, well then drop down in resistance. Hey, that's a great thing. You just killed the muscle in 5 reps. Now go ahead, drop down and squeeze out 5 more. You're going to get a better workout. The goal isn't, to do as little as possible just to get to the end of 10 reps.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to do as much as you can in that set. Getting set up here for our triceps exercise.
So this one right here, I want to come right across, just like this. So it's a single arm push down, keeping that elbow in a fixed spot. The elbow doesn't move. It always stays in that same spot. So we're not coming out here like this. Very disciplined.
This would be comparable if you went to the cable machine just pulled it down.
Yeah.
Right?
It would look exactly the same way. Now, if I was doing this on the cable machine, I wouldn't use a handle. I would do the same thing. I would take the handle off and I would actually grab the cable because I like the angle of it with my hand. Because there's a difference between this right here versus turning my hand like that. When you're doing single arm stuff, you want to make sure that your resistance from left to right, left arm to right arm, is the same. So when I transfer the bands, you see I kind of make sure I grab the band in the same spot.
I like to try to find a visual marker somewhere on the floor. So I make sure that my feet are in the same position so my tension stays the same. And even when I transfer the band from one hand to another, I try to grab it in the same spot. So I know where my hand is on the band, and I know where my feet are on the floor. So same tension from left to right.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely got nothing left. This is just pure mental right now.
But this is the best.
Mind over body right now. It all hurts.
It feels good. Feels good. I love it.
It hurts so good.
Hey, that's what I'm chasing, is that feeling. I want to walk away from my workout and feel like I did something. It would feel completely unproductive to me if I went in there and I spent all that time and didn't get that feeling. That's the feeling that you're chasing. So this is finishing up our third set, again, 10 reps. So this is the end right here.
Fourth and final set is the end of our workout right here. So this is our sprint. Still want to try to get that little turn in the hand even though we're going to be going fast. It's like a sprinter when they're sprinting the 100 meters. They still stay nice and tight. Still good form. It's just fast.
And it seems like that takes a lot of focus too. You don't want to...
Look at that face. Ugliness. Glad it's out of focus. Hey, working out shouldn't be pretty.
No.
That's a problem that I see these days. Too many people in the gym are too concerned about being pretty, and that's a problem. You shouldn't look pretty in the gym. You can tell this is an end of a workout.
Yeah, man. You left it all on there. I mean, it was impressive to see. Just
all right.
Man and his bands.
Yeah, well, want to show that this is the real deal.
Home stretch.
Here it is. There it is. And just to finish it off strong, even though I don't want to, I'm going to finish off with that last set of jumping jacks. If you're going to do it right. And Dennis told me to turn around. You want to see my face? So, getting fancy. Oh, yeah.
That's how you end a workout, with a Rocket style kick.
Yeah. I'm pretty serious most of the time, but you got to have a little bit of fun.
Killer workout, man. Thanks for kind of sharing that with all of us. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Untitled James Grage Bands show.
The Band Man.
The Band Man. One-man band. That James Grange, one man band. And really, I mean, it's we'll be providing you guys with videos every week, so make sure you subscribe. YouTube.com/James Grage. Make sure we also have our live Instagram show every Tuesday at around 3 or 4. Make sure to go and follow the stories. We'll always be letting you guys know when we're jumping live. Thank you guys for joining us again. Awesome. Great times.